Everyone, welcome back to the pre-market analysis for today, July 19th. Tuesday, July 19th. Sorry I didn't make it yesterday. Got a little complicated. But Franco took care of that for me, so thank you, Franco. Let's go ahead and get right into the pre-market analysis, though. Really not much going on in the U.S. News markets today. 8:30, we had building permits and housing starts. We have an FOMC member speaking at 2:30 p.m. Tomorrow, existing home sales at 10 p.m. Thursday, some unemployment. But only this red folder for PMI on Friday. Again, we have next week we have the Fed on Wednesday, FOMC federal funds rate on Wednesday. So a lot of things are looking towards that right now. So you'll notice that really hasn't been much movement in the markets. Really, we've been sideways for the last few weeks. All four indexes here to the left are up from yesterday's close. It did. The markets did. They were very sideways yesterday, early in the trading session, and then around 1 p.m. Broke down and just kept dropping with no pullbacks. And then in the overnight session, we were essentially sideways up until the London open, and since then the markets have recovered some. The dollar has been dropping significantly since essentially Friday, I think. But they dropped some yesterday. They've been dropping in the overnight session. Crude oil is hanging around below 100. Lows of around 93. Peaked around 100 and is hanging there at 97. And gold has been essentially flat around 1,700 for the last few days and probably weeks as well. So we're still inside of yesterday's candle on all four indexes. We have been a little bit bullish, but we are still on an inside day and haven't broken any levels really to the upside. So I'm certainly neutral today on my lower time frames. If we go ahead and take a look at the chart on the ES, the weekly, my higher time frame, lower highs and lower lows. Gotten used to me saying that. So we're certainly bearish as far as the higher time frame goes. I would need to see a break above this high to really change my mind to, at the very least, like neutral or neutral bullish. Really, I'm more so neutral bearish on my higher time frame because we've been in this range for so long. Until we break out of this range, I would essentially change my mind. So I'm actually more towards neutral on my higher time frame at the moment. If we go ahead and take a look at the daily, we have this upper trend line that price has been respecting on the daily. And again, we are inside of the daily candle where we are certainly sideways on the daily as well. We've got this trend line on the bottom that we're still inside of, and even this trend line right there that's holding as well. So we're certainly inside of range here. We need to see either breakout to the upside or to the downside. Until then, I'm essentially neutral as well. And if we go ahead and take a look at let's go to the hourly actually. Again, we closed down here yesterday and we are up. But on the ES, high of 73, low of 33. So we're in a 40-point range right now in the daily ATR of 85. We've been at that 85 range for a few days at least since last week. So we've done about half of the ATR thus far, and so we still have some room to run. I would certainly be marking off my overnight high as my first area, basically that pivot low and that pivot high, and then the overnight low. And then I do have some levels here marked off. I have a few levels here to the upside marked off. So as usual for me, if we break out, that's the wrong one. Sorry about that. If we break out to the upside, let's go to the 30. Break up to the upside and see some sustained momentum, but I'm going to be very cautious with a move like that because I have plenty of supply in the way for me. But if it's confirmed by the internals, I'll be long. If we start to show some weakness, I will be short. And the same but opposite is true to the downside. If we start seeing some breaking down here, I like to be short. But if we start to show some signs of strength, I like to be long. A real quick recap for me. Yesterday, I did trade. I just wasn't able to make it to the live session. So I actually got in long. We opened in this candle. We had a pullback here. I actually got in long on this. If the market broke out long, then it pulled back. I got in long down here. My stop was below, was down here, so I didn't get stopped out in all of this. So I was in all of this sideways for essentially like 3 hours yesterday. Finally, I got stopped out around 1 p.m., but this is the type of trade that I like to take afterwards. It was sideways. It tried to break it. Not that it tried to break out to the upside, but made plenty of attempts to go up, and it just didn't want to. And so after 3 hours, when it finally broke down, to me, it ran out of buyers. And when this candle closed below, I got in on a micro pullback. The range was so small that I was able to have my stop up. Wasn't above this pivot, but it was near the top of that pivot, and I rode this about halfway down yesterday. That is certainly the type of trade that I like when it's been in a range for so long, making an attempt to go in one direction, and when it finally breaks out of there. So I just wanted to recap that really quickly. Not sure what Franco's looking at today.
As usual, the dollar.
Dollar has been having a sustained drop for 3 days. There are some areas that I had marked off for demand, and they were blown. But they worked partially, meaning that if they worked partially, we could have a flip zone, right? For instance, this one, I don't like it too much because I don't have any like good pivot, but in this one I can rely on it for it to have a long on the markets, right? For instance, I will prefer the dollar to come here for me to take it nice long here and then drop from there, or a continuation pattern here. That's very possible also. All right, I don't think this is gonna happen today. It's very unlikely. This is a 30-minute chart, so every candle is a 30-minute candle. So if we have look, I'm biased long today, right? Why? The dollar is dropping. Bonds are dropping a little bit. And you guys can see here the US the 10-year yield, right? It's been sideways for the last 7 days, say 7-8 days, but is going up a little bit today. So along with the yen is dropping also. So I have two of the world's main currencies, and the U.S. 10-year bond going down. That's a very bullish move. I understand that the intermediate and long-term trend is down, but for this type of setup today, I'm biased long, and we'll see how the internals behave when we start trading. But obviously, I'm gonna try to take more longs than short, and for that, I need the dollar to retrace to the upside. Let's take a look again to that chart, and I rely so much into this chart. This is the one that I want to look at all the time. I probably want somewhere around here, right? Somewhere around this level, right? So I can have a nice retracement, get exhausted, and then continue to drop. That's all I have for today. Also, I'll be watching real time what the market does, and with the internals, I think I can have a pretty nice trading session. What about you, George? 10 minutes.